What's up, Buttercups? It's me, Amy Young, coming at you with a Friday freestyle. I got a question from a viewer over on Instagram. I'm not going to share all the details of her personal story because that feels fucked up, but I will say, she asked me to make a video on forgiving yourself. So forgiving yourself for things that you can't fix now that you did in the past. How do you start to make peace with that? This question, as soon as I read her message, I was like, whoa, this is such a big topic. I have so much to say. Today, I'm just going to talk about one little really, really important chunk. And that really important chunk is that when we're talking about the relationship we have with ourselves, I think it's really important to remember that it's kind of no different than a relationship that we would have with anybody else. So I think it's really important to notice when you've been able to forgive other people in your life for doing things, because everybody gets hurt sometimes, or people do things that upset us, or we're not happy with different situations. How do we get to a point where we feel okay forgiving other people? And usually a really big piece of that is that we have to decide that it's not even like we decided. I'm going to backtrack that. It's not a decision that you make. Eventually you convert from being judgmental and having an opinion about that person, which is all mental stuff, telling yourself the story of why this person sucks and how they hurt you and how it's unforgivable and oh my God, I can't believe that they would do that. The story that you have about how they did you wrong. We drop out of that mental place and eventually we sink into a feeling place of understanding maybe where that person was coming from, feeling for them to a certain degree, wanting to forgive them because we feel bad, because we see maybe that they're hurting. And usually it comes with understanding, mostly, where the other person was coming from and recognizing whoa, geez, maybe I'm hurt, maybe I'm upset, but it's very clear that person didn't mean to make me feel that way. So I want to forgive them because it'll feel better for me, and I don't like that this other person is hurting. The same is true for us. So the past version of you that you are having a hard time forgiving, you are having a judgment about her. You're telling yourself that she messed things up, that she shouldn't have done what she did. She screwed things up for you now. She made a lot of mistakes. Maybe you're even embarrassed and ashamed of her. God, why the hell were you even like that? I know I've felt that way about myself in the past before. You have all these judgments about yourself because based on where you are now, you know a lot more. You know probably better how you would have liked to handle situations. You kind of are in this place where you're Monday morning quarterbacking your life and looking back based on the information that you have today, how would you go back in time and do things? Well, that's really easy for you to do because you're in the here and now. Past you doesn't know jack shit about the here and now. Past you was making decisions based on what she knew then, which was probably limited information, limited experience. Maybe she was in a place where she was really freaked out or upset or confused or distressed, or she didn't have the tools that you have or the know-how that you have. We have to start dropping into the feeling place where we can empathize with who we were. When we are judging ourselves, we are totally and completely shooting ourselves in the foot because we actually know how hard it was back then. But instead of empathizing with ourselves and having compassion, we're choosing to say, well, it just should have been different. Should have been different, should have chosen differently. We'd be in a different place now. Wow, you really fucked it up. Is that really fair? I mean, this is something actually that I'll do. It's kind of like a guided visualization I'll do with clients when past issues come up, where we'll actually go into the moment where it feels like it's most packed with judgment and upset and I can't forgive you for what you did feelings. And we'll observe what was going on in that moment. We'll notice what was happening, who were you in that moment, how did you feel, what were you afraid of, what was going on. And what always happens is we get to trigger the feeling place of actually how monumentally difficult that situation was in the past. You have to understand that at that point in time, you were only doing the best you could. You have to give yourself the benefit of the doubt that you would never knowingly fuck up, screw up a relationship, make a mistake, disappoint yourself. You would never do that knowingly. And if it feels like you did that, then you're being very hard on yourself. Because none of us escape from existence without doing things that we aren't proud of, or without making decisions that end up leading to regrets later down the road. But the choice is now, how are you going to handle those decisions and choices and regrets? Are you going to hold them over your head and blame yourself and continue to pain yourself and feel like you're a fuck up and you did wrong and it's not okay? Or are you going to decide, wow, I was in a really tough place. There was so much I didn't know at that time. I was maybe even a completely different person. And I was so scared and upset. I felt desperate and confused. I made decisions I'm not proud of. But wow, at that moment, I guess I didn't know what else to do. That's a much more accurate telling of probably what went down. You did the best you could. You have to feel that. You can't just think about it. You have to actually engage with yourself, which means usually going into the memories, taking a little trip into the vault and remembering what it actually felt like, how hard it was, how scary it was, how painful it was, how confusing it was, and remember what it is that you wanted, how you didn't know how to get it, how you just put one foot in front of the other, because that's what we do in life, is we just move forward and try and make the best decisions with the very limited information that we have. You have more information than you did back then, but don't discredit yourself for working with the information that you had. It's not your fault. You truly did the best you could. We all are truly doing the best that we can. And there are so many moments in my past where I have had to recognize that, of course, if I could do things differently, I would. But because I can't, the next best thing is to be kind and gentle and forgiving and motherly to those old versions of me. I have to be nurturing of myself, because the past only matters in as much as how we feel about it. It's not the decisions that you made in the past that matter, it's your interpretation of those decisions. And is your interpretation empowering you and lifting you up and making you feel better in your life, or is it weighing you down and making you feel worse about yourself? Please, please, please fight for the former, not the latter. Again, I have so much to say on this topic. I'm probably going to do a whole blog post about it. That's kind of it for today. Thank you. You know who you are, for asking me this question on Instagram and getting me thinking about this important, really important life lesson journey thing. Feels good. I hope you're having a great day, night, weekend, wherever you are. As always, if you want to subscribe to be on my email list, if you want to get regular email updates from me, the link is in the description box. You can head to amyyoungcoaching.com and sign up. Love to connect with you that way. If you want to subscribe to my channel, you know how to do that on the YouTubes. Hit the subscribe button. I would love to see you on a regular basis. I'm going to be making some changes potentially to Friday Freestyles in the next few weeks. So just know that we might be experimenting with doing some live video options instead of just the recorded video options. I'm thinking about doing something over on Facebook with Friday Freestyles so that I can interact more with you guys in real time, because I would really love to do that, but I'll keep you updated. It's not like I'm not, doing this next week, but I just want to give you a heads up. Something I'm thinking about, feeling good about, feeling excited about. I hope you're feeling good and excited too. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and please know that I'm here for you. I see you, I feel you, I get you. Sometimes it's hard. Let's work together to make it easier. And until next time,